My name is Elena Harper, and this is the story I swore I would take to my grave. For years, I lived with a secret so heavy it crushed my chest every single morning. A secret that made me believe I didn't deserve happiness, forgiveness, or even another breath. For 5 years, I woke up every day carrying guilt like a shadow that never left. No matter where I went, no matter how far I ran, it followed me. Because the truth was simple and unbearable. I survived something my family didn't. Before everything shattered, we looked perfect from the outside. A loving husband, a joyful daughter, laughter-filled rooms and family dinners that felt safe and warm. No one saw the cracks forming beneath the smiles. My daughter Lily was 7 years old. She laughed with her whole body, trusted the world completely, and never went anywhere without her stuffed rabbit. She was light itself, and I didn't know how fragile light could be. Marcus, my husband, was quiet strength. He loved in ways that didn't demand attention. He showed up every single day, even when I didn't notice anymore. And that blindness would cost me everything. Work consumed me. Long hours. Endless responsibility. Listening to other people's pain until I had nothing left for my own family. I told myself I was doing it for them. But slowly, I was disappearing from them. We stopped talking about feelings. Our marriage turned into schedules and silence. I felt alone. He felt invisible. And neither of us knew how to say it out loud. Rain flooded the road as we drove home. The kind of rain that blurs your vision and fills the air with danger. But we were too busy being hurt to notice the warning. Lily slept peacefully in the back seat, unaware of the tension in the front. Her small breaths steady, her world still safe. And I would give anything to stay in that moment forever. The argument wasn't loud. It was worse. Years of resentment leaking into quiet words, each sentence sharper than the last. Until anger finally took control. I turned my head toward him, just for a moment. Just 2 seconds fueled by frustration and exhaustion. 2 seconds that changed the rest of my life. The headlights appeared out of nowhere. A massive truck sliding across our lane. No warning. No time, only panic. The sound of metal tearing apart, glass exploding, the feeling of being thrown into darkness. And then, nothing. I woke up days later surrounded by machines, my body alive, my soul already broken. The first words I asked were their names. Marcus died instantly. Lily fought for hours. And then she was gone too. In that moment, I stopped being the person I used to be. The funerals came one after the other. 2 white coffins that felt impossibly small. I stood there unable to cry, unable to breathe, unable to understand how the world could continue moving while mine had ended. In that silence, guilt wrapped itself around my heart forever. After everyone left, the house became unbearable. Lily's drawing still hung on the fridge. Marcus's guitar waited in the corner. Every object screamed their absence. And I couldn't survive inside those walls. So I ran. I packed what little I could carry and drove north until the road met the sea. I wasn't searching for peace. I was searching for somewhere my pain wouldn't echo so loudly. Small coastal cottage by the ocean. Gray sky. Lonely mood. Subtitle: I rented a tiny cottage near the water. The waves never stopped crashing, day or night. They sounded like both a lullaby and a warning. And somehow, that felt honest. Woman standing on a cliff at night, waves crashing below. Subtitle: Some nights, I stood on the cliff behind the cottage. The wind whispered promises of silence. I thought about ending it more times than I can count. But Lily's voice always stopped me, asking, "Mommy, why?" Then Clara entered my life. She looked at me once and saw everything I tried to hide. She said guilt was killing me slowly, and that surviving wasn't the same as living. Therapy forced me to face the truth, the argument, the anger. The 2 seconds I took my eyes off the road. Saying it out loud felt like confessing to a crime. I believed those 2 seconds made me a murderer. But my therapist asked me something that changed everything. Did I mean to hurt them? Or was I simply human in an impossible moment? Healing came slowly. I planted roses for Lily and jasmine for Marcus. I spoke to them while I worked the soil, apologizing, promising to try again. I adopted a rescue dog and named her Flops. She didn't let me disappear. Every morning, she reminded me that life still needed me, even when I didn't believe it. I began helping others carry their grief, because no one understands survivors' guilt like someone who has lived inside it. Helping them helped me stay alive. 5 years later, I returned to the crash site. A small cross stood where my life had ended. I knelt in the mud and spoke the words I had carried for years. I'm sorry. I told them I would carry my regret forever, but I would also carry their love forward. The wind answered gently that day, and for the first time, I felt lighter. Joy returned quietly, in small moments. A child's laughter, a familiar song. Pain still lived with me, but it no longer controlled me. I was broken by 2 seconds, but I am being rebuilt, one fragile day at a time. If you are drowning in guilt, hear me clearly. You are allowed to heal. They would want that for you.